What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So in the last few months, I've been updating you guys on the current race, or where we are, the current state when it comes to the midterm election. Now, last night there was a special election, and we saw Democrats flip 2 out of the 3 seats in Florida. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. And this is, when you see polling showing that Democrats are going to have a good night in the midterm election in November, they're saying this because we're getting all this information that's coming in that's showing us that Democrats have an advantage because they are winning a lot of these special elections. Not only are they winning special elections, they're flipping some of these seats that they wouldn't have normally flipped, let's say, just 2 years ago. And so we'll take a look at that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, first thing I want to show you is headline. This is coming from AP. And this headline says, Democrat flips seat in special election for Florida district that includes Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort.
You do not want to overstate this. To your point, if you go through most of the 2010s, this seat was held by a Democrat. So you don't want to overstate it. It's not, wow, Democrats have never won here before. However, you also don't want to understate it. The Republican who had that seat, who stepped aside when Ron DeSantis appointed him to another job, so they had to have the special election, he won his last election by 20 points. Donald Trump carried this legislative district in the presidential race a couple of years ago, and then put it in the context of everything else that is happening. Democrats are winning local elections everywhere throughout 2025 and now throughout 2026, and they're doing it all over the map in ruby red states like Florida, in Georgia, in Mississippi, in Texas, in Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So Democrats clearly, the facts just speak plainly, the math speaks plainly as day. Democrats have huge enthusiasm behind them right now, and Republicans keep losing in places where just in November of 2024, they were winning big. And so Democrats believe that they had a good year set up because it's a midterm year. You have a Republican president, his poll numbers are down. They thought they had a good year, and they think actually as we start to move through the early spring here, the opportunities are getting even bigger and wider, broader, if you will.
And so, yes, you heard that right. A Democrat is now representing President Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort. And this is a state race, okay? This is a state house race. So that we're not talking about D.C., but still, in Florida, you have a Democrat that's representing Trump's district. And not only did a Democrat win in his district, but President Trump voted by mail, which a lot of people found interesting because President Trump has been out there saying that vote by mail is fraudulent, but he's voting by mail. And so it's very interesting that he voted by mail, but that's another story. So let's go ahead and focus on the races. Here we go. And so here's the State House District 87. This is the Mar-a-Lago district, and you have Gregory. She's the one who won over Maples, and you see the vote count. Very, very close race, but Democrats flipped the seat. Now, let's take a look. There was a Senate seat as well. Let's take a look at that one. So we have a state Senate seat, District 14. You had Brian Nathan, and he beat out Tom Cow. Now, this is a very close race as well, but you see the Democrat come out on top. Now, something important to note about these districts, and I believe the Senate district, let's move down to that one that we just talked about. Senate district was a +7 for Trump. So that meant Trump won by 7 points in 2024. And the Mar-a-Lago district, this was about a +11. So Trump won by 11 points in 2024. Now that seat has flipped to a Democrat. Both of those seats have flipped to Democrats. And so what this is telling us is you have voter sentiment has changed. Okay, in these districts, and it's not just these districts. We're looking at special elections all over the U.S. We've been looking at them back since 2025, and they're showing us that voters are changing their opinion about President Trump. And remember, this midterm election is going to be a referendum on the president. And so people are already looking at these special elections, and they're saying, look, we need change. We need someone different. We don't want Republicans in there anymore. We want Democrats representing us, and that is why they're voting for these Democrats, and that's why we're seeing these seats flip. And here's some more information here. And this was a tweet. I know I said it was +7, but here he is saying that it's Republican +9. That's that Senate district. And then Republican +10. That's that Mar-a-Lago district. But you're seeing the results here. So this was a very, very close race. The Senate race was. The Mar-a-Lago, the state house race was, the spread right now is about 2.4%. And another thing that we could focus on too is the money that was raised. So you see in the Senate district, the one that Nathan won, he raised $100,000 when Tom Cow, she raised $1 million. And you see the outcome, Nathan beat her even though she raised 10 times more money than he was able to raise. And so clearly there's something going on when it comes to voters. Now, will we see this in November? Most likely we will see this in November, because the way that this has been playing out, we see it started back in 2025. We saw some special elections where you had Democrats flipping seats, and now we're continuing to see that. And we have a lot of things that are going on right now when it comes to the economy. The economy is not doing too well. People are still paying more when they go buy groceries. People are now paying more at the gas pump. People are seeing this conflict in Iran. People are seeing a lot of different things that they're not happy with. And they are going to hold the president accountable by not voting for the Republicans that are on the ticket. And another important thing in that Mar-a-Lago district, guess who endorsed the Republican who lost? President Trump. And just think about this. We're talking about the president's home district. He endorses a candidate, and that candidate loses. That should tell you everything that you need to know about how voters are feeling in that district.
Is John Maples here? Get up here, John. Gotta meet John. I'm endorsing John. He's got the greatest commercial I think I've ever seen. The only thing it says is Trump's endorsing me. Come up here, John. Come on up.
Oh, thank you so much, and how humbling to be on the stage with the best president we could ever imagine, and
because you would think the president would have an advantage in that district because he's the president and because he owns a home and a business in that district. You would think he would have the upper hand, but he didn't have the upper hand. And I think there are a lot of people, and I think some Republicans are going out and they are voting against President Trump. They're voting against Republicans to represent them in that district and in a lot of other districts. And so I wanted to put a quick video together just talking about the situation right now when it comes to these special elections. And I believe Democrats have flipped 29 or 30 seats in these special elections. And so they flipped it from a Republican seat to a Democratic seat. Now, when it comes to Republicans flipping Democratic seats, it's 0. And so all of the movement that we're seeing is going from a Republican seat to a Democratic seat, not the other way around. So I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.